It's Bridgetown Market Day. No, we're not on the mighty Griner Highway, but here in Atlanta, Georgia, at another one of the exciting events being held as part of the Barbados Comes to Atlanta. The 2,000 plus Bajans and friends of Bajans can expect great food, music, and other Barbadian goodies. Join us as we take in some of the festivities. We're here with Mr. Wayne Bino. Everywhere I went in Atlanta this weekend, all I heard was the name Wayne Bino. He is the jack of all trades, the guy that's responsible for putting all this together. So tell me a little bit about your foundation and how this all came about.
9 years ago, I read an article that there's a young Barbadian girl who's looking for some help. After reading the email, I decided to call the Barbadian community here in Atlanta, and about 600 of them came to the meeting, and that's how it's formed. I told some of them will like what I say and how I work, some will leave. And today, as you can see, I got a huge crowd down here supporting the Caroline Cancer Foundation. After 9 years in existence, every year we put over 2,000 and 3,000 people in Atlanta. But this is the first Barbados Come to Atlanta that had so many people. But I couldn't do it without a man in Barbados named Matt Fingal, the most encouraging human being in the world. Every time that I have something to do, I've got a problem, I call him. I say, Matt, listen, man, I got a situation here. He said, we ain't see, take it easy, we can deal with it. Kudos to Matt Fingal. Caused me to be where I'm at today in my life.
The George Jones from the Big Band Square One. Tell us what brought you to Atlanta.
Well, I've been coming to this event now it started in 2015, and I've been to 5 or 6 of them. I came initially because of the connection. You know, it is a charitable foundation for little Caroline Grisette, who, as you all know, have had a really tough time with some health challenges and stuff like that. And, myself also, I've had my fair share of health challenges. And the family and the organizers and stuff would have reached out to me for, I don't want to say guidance, but suggestions and, ideas and stuff, and how to go about dealing with these health challenges. And so I've had a really close connection to the foundation in the background. And I also have done a lot of promotional work for them. Like most of the draft flyers and stuff like that, video clips, I would have done for them the last couple of years. So, there's a heartfelt connection to the foundation. It's always a wonderful experience to have, members of the diaspora gathered in one central area and especially in this instance, it's all for a worthy cause. But, as proud Barbadians, wherever we are, because even in Cayman Islands, we have a very active Barbadian association. And so it is always refreshing and very welcoming to have, members of the diaspora and the nationalities spread across the world come together for a cause, be it entertainment, be it sports, be it charitable cause such as this. So it's really a wonderful experience.
Tell me what made you guys decide to come all the way to Atlanta for this event.
Well, I am a part of the organization BFE Mass, so we came to show our support for both the Caroline Grisette Foundation as well as Barbados Comes to Atlanta. We're an organization, we are not-for-profit, and really and truly we do anything that can spread awareness of Barbados, our culture, our history, and everything about Barbados, really and truly.
Now, this is a young lady. I met her yesterday, and she is not Bajan. Well, she's Bajan by descent, right? A Bajan citizen and everything. And she is very, very passionate about Barbados. She didn't grow up there. She wasn't born there. But tell me, why are you still so passionate about a country you weren't even born in?
Well, for as long as I've known, everything that I've known is Bajan. My parents are Bajan. Most of my family is Bajan, really and truly. I used to live there for a couple of years. I went to school there. And then I came back up to the United States. I have plans to move back home at some point in time in my life. And so for me, I just love Barbados. There's nothing more to it. I just love Barbados.
Well, I've supported the Caroline Grisette Cancer Foundation since the first year. I left Barbados at the age of 13. I'm now 69 years old, and Barbados is just my home. And anybody that's doing anything to benefit Barbados and the citizens of Barbados, I feel like I need to be there to support it. It's as simple as that. But I grew up in a home where my parents did a lot to benefit Barbados in New York. And back then I used to think they're crazy, but I think it's in my DNA. And Barbados is a very special, special place. We're the furthest east of the Caribbean islands, closest to Africa. And I'm also passionate about our connection to Africa. So in order for me to do that and be passionate, I have to love my Bajan people and love Barbados.
I'm here with Carson and Valerie, Carolyn's parents, and this event is all about raising money for the Carolyn Grisette Foundation. Can you tell me, how do you feel about when you look around, you see so many people here today and over the weekend supporting this great foundation?
Oh, well, I'm elated. This one happened to be the biggest that there has been so far. We've been coming, at least I've been coming to the past few that they had. And this one is really massive, but it is a very, very good feeling because we know that the proceeds from this will go to assist some people back home in Barbados, some children at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in the neonatal internal care is what I think we focus on. And the proceeds from this will assist in supporting the hospital in some way.
I am overjoyed. Not only that, as my husband said, many children in Barbados or even in the diaspora will benefit from this cause, but the fact that my daughter's name is going to live on is really humbling for me. I'm really excited about that. She is too. She did mention that before. So the support is really overwhelming. And to be quite honest, we know Barbadians are givers, but we know them to be givers in terms of food. They're not going to let their neighbors be hungry or somebody's house got burnt down. They'll provide clothing. But a cause like this, we don't see it very often. So, and it's not, even though my daughter was the first recipient, this is not for her. This is for other people.
When Carrie first got sick, we wasn't aware of it. You know, Bajans, we tend to keep sickness close to family and that kind of thing. But when things got to the point where she had to have treatment at St. Louis Children's Hospital in Missouri, she was at St. Jude, but the procedure that she had to have done, kidney transplant at the time, wasn't done at St. Jude. They hooked us up with St. Louis. But we would have to provide transportation, getting there back and forth, because St. Jude still wanted them to be the base.
People would see St. Jude's ads and they say parents don't have to provide anything, which is very true. St. Jude's provides food, shelter, and medical care. And they were offering to fly us back and forth to Missouri, which we didn't want. To move it, a bundle like her is quite a bit to go through the airport. So we really wanted to drive because it was a 4.5-hour drive, okay? So we recognized we needed a car. And I mean, cars are not terribly expensive, but we were already at St. Jude for a very long time, none of us working, more or less exhausted our resources from being there because we still had our mortgage back home to be paying, we still had a house back home to be running, and we were not working. So it's not like we could just pick, $10,000 or whatever to buy a car. So that's when I reached out to a friend that I know that lives in Atlanta, and I said, hey, do you know anybody who will help us get a car? To be honest, I just threw it out there. And she passed it on to people. I heard that the email started to make its rounds, and it ended up with Wayne, all right? And that's how, he wasn't even aware it was Carson's daughter. And they grew up next to each other, as he said. But anyway, that's how the wheels started to turn.
There are several Barbadian businesses here on display today, and they are showcasing and highlighting some of what Barbados has to offer, some great stuff. Sheena's going to take us through that now. She's going to have a little chat with all of them and get to find out why they're here.
That's correct. We're here in the Clayton International County Park, and we're going to talk to those Barbadian businesses who came all the way from Barbados to participate in Barbados Comes to Atlanta. We're here with Jerome from Super Blends. Welcome, Jerome.
Hi, thank you very much for having me.
Now you came up from Barbados. Tell us why you decided to participate in Barbados Comes to Atlanta.
Honestly, at Super Blend, we relish the opportunity to showcase our products to not only the Bajan diaspora that might be here, but for all people that might have a curiosity, to be honest. That, and we were also looking for, a sustainable partnership between any of the distributor that might be interested in carrying the products and taking it so that it's mutually beneficial for everybody. The response has been even more overwhelming than we would have anticipated, to be honest. A lot of people wanted the product and couldn't get it. So we think we've been doing pretty well.
I'm here with the lovely Kim Derry, a well-known Barbadian singer who's now living in Atlanta. And she is the Chief Operations Officer of DNA Flavor. Kim, tell us all about your product.
This product here is a premium Barbadian product. How it started, the owner, Akela Thomas, basically we were going around different supermarkets all over Georgia, no Barbadian products on the shelves. So basically, because she came from the Miller family that owned originally the windmill product, she decided we're gonna bring and rebrand it. So she came up with the DNA brand, paying homage to her family and her grandfather. Well, we offer the dried herbs, mixed herbs for like the vegetarians, people who love pork like me, beef, chicken, fish. Everything here can go with everything. And then we have our pepper sauces, which is like known, you got to have your hot sauce. And it's very good because it makes you feel like you're home back in Barbados. Also, the seasonings are brilliant because a lot of people don't know how to cook because they don't know how to season, first of all. So this is a foolproof product that once you have your meat, you put this season on the meat and you go on clear. I love the feedback. We had people coming through constantly. They love, and all of them saying is like, make sure we can get it online, make sure we can get it on Amazon, because that's the next step. Because we just launched, more or less, and so hence e-commerce is the way forward, because everybody don't like going to the supermarket, so it's always going to be available on Amazon, on Etsy, on eBay, and on Shopify.
So, for someone who has never been to a Barbados Comes To, what would you tell them when the next one is held?
Don't miss it. You're going to be real sorry because it's always something to look forward to. It's exciting. It's true Bajan culture at its best. And if you live in these parts, you don't get to see that all the time. So make sure you find yourself here.
BTMI, the product division, decided that it would be a good idea to take part in Barbados Comes to Atlanta because we will be targeting the diaspora. We see the diaspora as low-hanging fruit, and we want the persons living in Atlanta, the second, the third, and the fourth generations, to find their roots. They might not come to Barbados often, but there are lots of people in Atlanta. For example, I read and I've been told that the 80,000 persons from the Caribbean in Atlanta. So imagine if the 80,000 persons from the Caribbean, there are Bajans everywhere, so there are approximately about 10,000 persons in Atlanta. We want to really capture those persons. We want them to know who they are, where they come from. We are working collaboratively with the Department of Archives, and we do want to capture those persons to visit Barbados because at BTMI it's all about getting persons to come to Barbados. Today I estimate the crowd here to be over 1,000 people, and a lot of people have passed through the booth. They wanted information on what Barbados is doing, so I would have shared the activities for the year. I would share the Run Barbados activities, basically big activities that we have going on in Barbados. And obviously, the nearest event we have is Crop Over. So I'm inviting everyone to come home for Crop Over. And with respect to the other events, we had a table at all the other events, and people have been constantly passing, wanting to know more about Barbados. And obviously, I'm pushing genealogy. So that's what we were talking about primarily.
We're here with the Genealogy Marketplace. This concept was developed between the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. and the Archives Department in terms of promoting genealogy and also genealogy tourism. So here we would have samples of some of the documents we have within the archives. We also have some publications. Persons now, when they're doing their family history, they would write up the stories and actually have them published as books. So what we would do, we would ask persons to bring whatever information they can. We know that oral history is very important when you're doing family history because everything is not written. We were a very secretive society before, so the old people, our foreparents, never used to tell us a lot of information about our families.
And then we would meet someone and they'd be our cousin.
Yes.
And we wouldn't even know.
Yeah, we would not even know. Actually, today here, 3 persons, 2 from New York and 2 from Atlanta that never knew of each other. They met the Sanford family.
Awesome.
And they're also from St. James, and they never know about each other.
And your booth helped them find out.
Yes, and our booth was able to help them find that out. And we also had a lady that we have our chart here on the history of Rock Hall St. Thomas. And she indicated that the name on the chart, Robert Downs, is her relative. And she's actually related to Aja. Wow. Yeah, so we were able to, she felt good to come and see this information being displayed.
So Ingrid, if I wanted to find out, well, I already know who my grandparents are and my great-grandparents.
Yes.
What if I wanted to find out the origin of the whole family name? Is that you? And how would I go about doing that?
Yes, that is us. If you're in Barbados, it's pretty simple. You can book an appointment, come to the archives, and we have staff there in the research room to assist you. If you're in the diaspora, what we're doing now, we're taking your information. We have a chart here you fill out, which is our family chart. So it's both on the maternal and the paternal side. You fill in as much information as you could. If you have older relatives that you can ask before you come, you do that. So when we go back home, then we will do that preliminary search for you, and they then will be able to follow up. Because we also want them to come and visit Barbados. So we want persons to come home, but put the archives department on the itinerary.
So what type of information would I need? Would I need birth dates, names,
yes.
where they were located? Tell me some of that
yes.
information.
What they will need, names, as much as possible, because we have a tendency to give nicknames, but names, dates of birth, dates of death, dates of marriage, any date at all, and so on that they will need to bring.
But we also need to know the location of where they were from, or that doesn't
That will make it easier, but even if you don't have that information, it's still possible to find that ancestor. So you can get in contact with the Barbados Archives Department by emailing archives@barbados.gov.bb or call 535-0090.
I'm here right now at the BTMI USA booth, and I'm also here with Tanisha Holder. She's Senior Business Development Officer, and people say mixologist, but this gentleman here, he's known as the liquid artist Casanova, and they're going to tell us all about their participation at Barbados Comes To Atlanta. Tanisha?
Thank you, Sheena, and it's a pleasure to be here at Barbados Comes To Atlanta this year. For us, the diaspora is a key part of our visitation. It's a key part of our target audience. We love it's home for us. So when we talk about brand ambassadors, we're surrounded by them here today. We had a conversation a couple nights ago asking, who has recommended Barbados to a friend, a colleague, a gym mate, and the response was resounding. Everyone said yes. So we are completely appreciative of the part that the diaspora plays in, pushing the tourism product for Barbados and pushing Barbados to the world, essentially. So, our representation here in Atlanta is just a small part of what we're doing on a wider front in the USA. And of course, we couldn't do it without our culinary ambassadors. So a few nights ago, we had our chefs represented. Our Food and Rum Festival is near and dear to everything that we do and a big part of the promotion that we have going on. So as you mentioned, our liquid artist, he had to be here today at Barbados Day, just sharing just a taste of Barbados and what makes us so special as the birthplace of rum.
Today we had what we call the Calypso Cooler. So the Calypso Cooler basically, obviously, Barbados being a birthplace of rum, we have featured today in this cocktail, the Mount Gay rum. So they're using the Mount Gay Eclipse. We have that. We have passion fruit juice, right, being one of my favorite juices, as well as, you can find it in Barbados, find it in the Caribbean. We have mint on the inside as well. I took several spices as well. So there's some cinnamon on the inside, some cloves, allspice, ginger, all merge those Caribbean flavors together, those plethora of ingredients just come and married well with some citrus. And of course, you have to have that Casanova love, because without the love, it will be no good. So we just merged those, and then we did some samples of this cocktail, and this is one of the featured cocktails for today. We did, of course, Barbados rum punch yesterday, and the day before we did a spiced infused rum punch along with another creation as well. So it was actually a very, very beautiful experience, once again being here representing the beautiful island of Barbados and showcasing our culinary prowess through the area of mixology.
Now we have some patrons here who just came because they saw Liquid Casanova. And this young lady here, she's here just wanting to try what you have to offer. Give her a little taste of it.
Of course, certainly, that's what we're here for. And here we go, my dear. All right. Sweet. Let's see.
How was it, my lady?
It's good. It's sweet, but not too sweet. You can taste the bitters. You can taste all of the aromatics. Well balanced. And tastes like home. So yes, well balanced. Well balanced.
Thank you.
It was truly an awesome day here. We saw some wonderful performances, met up with Bajans living all across the United States, and of course, got a taste of some really great food. It's been a wonderful weekend here in Atlanta, one of fellowship, Barbadian camaraderie, all coupled with some serious discussion about moving the country we all love forward. Overall, this is a weekend that we'll remember for a very long time. I am Aisha Reed. Thanks for watching.